We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome. And welcome, Nick. And how are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm fantastic and so good to see you, Marie. I said to Marie over the weekend, I so look forward to being here on a Monday morning. I mean, Monday mornings to some people represent having to go to work and do something they don't like. For me, it's more like, yay, I get to do this. And I don't know what it is about this show, but it really brings excitement to me. There's something
Yeah.
so simple about it. Yeah.
I think, for me, I love catching up with everyone. Like Lady Hawk's on, Christine's on, Marie's on. And it's
Hi,
so
everyone.
nice. I feel like it's just, I'm getting to see all my friends. And
Yay.
yeah, that's why I would love you guys if you've got the courage to come onto the show so we can all get to see you and meet you.
Yeah.
Because it feels like just this beautiful big group of friends. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a great energy. So I welcome anyone to come on. And I know you get probably that in the chat and when you're live, but still being able to share it with Marie is fantastic. It really is.
So yeah, it definitely. So Nick, would you say that it's helped you shift something within you, actually having the courage and to step up and actually just be here and be present?
Yeah, exponentially. You know, people might say, "Oh, yeah, I've had a teaching background. I'm used to speaking and talking to people," but I've never done this. I've never put my face on a video live. And what it's just when you think you're well managed, you realise, oh, we both froze, or is that just me frozen?
I think it's you, but that's okay. We can hear you. So when we can't hear you, duck out and come back on.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it's taught me that that there were still some little shadows that needed to be resolved, maybe.
Yeah.
And the nerves sort of went really quickly, and now it's I'm letting my heart drive me, not my mind, which is
That's
good.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you get over that, I mean, they do say that the biggest fear in the world is public speaking. But to me, this is easy. It's like I'm sitting here having a chat with everyone. So, and again, I did a lot of teaching and training in my health role, and I loved it. I love people, and I think that really helps too. So, and thanks, Marie, because she says I look forward to your show. It's lovely. I don't even feel like it's Nick's and my show. I feel like it's everyone's show because without
Yeah.
you, we'd have
Yeah, I'm
nothing.
saying.
So it was really interesting this week because I didn't get any email dreams, which is really interesting. So, guys, if you've had any dreams, you've had any experiences in life that have been a little bit weird, even something simple, just share it because that can often start people looking at things from a whole different perspective. So, yeah, so pop it up. And we're going to talk today, excuse me, a little bit about I don't know if any of you remembered or tried to even record your dream from last week, when you woke up to see if there was any change in voice or yeah, what you were hearing back. So, but both I did it and Nick actually did it as well. But yeah, so we can discuss that. But the one thing that's been coming up, and I've been hearing it from a few people, my dreams, I know personally, I have had relationships or guys I've liked from the past, from 35 years ago, popping into my dream quite distinctly. And I remember saying in my dream, oh my goodness, that's such and such, and then the dream just continues. But it's quite in my face. And it's happened about 3 times now over the last sort of 10 days. So there's a theme there for that. And it's really triggered something for me. So yeah, so if anyone's had any dreams about people from their past that's made them stop and reflect or remember other experiences you've had in life that you actually thought you might have forgotten, let us know because I think or even running into people that you haven't seen for so long or thinking about people. I always feel as well that person is then is at some level on a conscious energetic level, we might have popped into their mind as well for some reason. So yeah, so Nick, are you still there, or have you completely?
I'm hearing you. I'm just going to try and while we're still early on the show, I'm just going to try and come in again.
Okay.
And try. Hopefully, it's got nothing to do with the van that was there down the road. They've gone now.
That's good. Your NBN van, your internet van.
I'll see you in a second.
Beautiful, thanks. And hi, Christina. How you going? So. Yeah, we're just we're just talking about if you've had any sort of old, I call them almost past life. They feel like other lifetimes to me. Some of the stuff that happened 15, 20, 30 years ago, whatever. But have you had any experiences that have triggered you at all, to think about things differently, or to have a look at the feelings that came with that? I found it extremely interesting. So now I forgot, Jasper wanted to say hello this morning. So he's here with us as well. Okay. So, and while we're waiting for Nick, let's do a reading. Would any of you guys like a reading that are on? Now, obviously, if you're watching the show afterwards, you missed it. But for you guys on there, just I don't know, put in 88, our usual 888. Do a 888 if you'd actually like a little bit of a reading. So, and Lady Hook, that's beautiful. While people are actually looking at doing that. So I thought a lot today about what I learned from my mother, what I've done differently, and what I wanted to pass down to my daughters. And that's so relevant and so beautiful. It's true, because, like, you know, even though my mum passed probably close to 12, 13 years ago now, I'll often do that with her, because she was so kind and so loving, and she had such a tough time, and yet she stayed in her heart. She was an amazing, beautiful lady. So I Lady Hook, I think that's a really beautiful thing that you've done. And it's great to look at it as, what have I learned? Yeah. And then how can I change it? And that's changing lineage. And that's been coming up so much for people. So, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, actually, what's been triggered for us. So, yeah, and we will do a reading in a second as well. But so Marie said it's been odd. A couple of nights I kept being shown lots of old incidents in childhood. That would have bothered me then, but noticed now not at all. I love that, Marie, because that means it's actually been, you've cleared it, or you've changed a pattern so that your response to that situation would be different now. And I've had that happening as well. I think they'd call it bullying now, but when I was young, and I was actually told this by a reader, and they said that because my energy was so strong and powerful, the kids, I had a lot of beautiful friends, but so kids would sort of do things to try and exclude me because they were scared of my power. I didn't even know I had it. But these days it would be called bullying. Yeah, so it's interesting. So I now would respond very differently in those situations as well. So, yeah. Yep, Christine. I think this is happening for everyone. Yep, Christine agrees. I'm working on a lot of clearing ancestral traumas. It's amazing. I've been seeing ancestors just lined up behind people when I've actually been doing some work with people. And I'm going, wow, this is deep. This is ancient clearing that we're doing. So, and it's weird, we forget how powerful we are. You know, just knowing that we're light, that then exudes out. And we put our hands up to be here at this time. This is the most beautiful opportunity to change Earth, to change the consciousness that's within us and within Earth, and to connect with her to bring that through. So, okay, so I'm just gonna go through the 888s to do a reading. And Christina, you're actually just zipping out at me at the moment, so I'm just gonna pull a couple of cards for Christina as well. I might even have time to do it. Oh, she's back, and I've been ignoring poor old Nick down in the corner.
That's okay. I like to listen. I felt like I was just in the background. You gave me a chance to strip off all my clothes now, because the sun's just heated up the room by about 5 degrees.
So I'm just doing a little bit of a reading for Christina. So I'm just going to tune in, Christina. Tuning into that divine aspect. What's it going to show me? Okay. Yeah. And then I'll pull some cards. It just gives me, I feel the cards are almost just like a piece of art that I can sort of describe. It just gives me that little link in to make it make more sense. It's interesting what I just saw coming through as well for you. So this one definitely wants to, perfect. So the Ace of Cups to me is this beautiful emotional, it's almost like an upgrade with you. I saw this amazing cross, like it was beautiful black cross, and I see it as like, thank you. This is actually it's like the Mary Magdalene energy, that black divine feminine for you coming through. And it was interesting because it was actually coming through your solar plexus, not the heart, and above your head was a crystal. So to me, this is crystalline energy that's coming through you. So I don't know if you've been feeling differently, but there's definitely a big shift going on for you, yeah. And I was wondering if you'd been feeling a little bit of grief because the 5 of Cups has come up. So you feel like you're letting go of something, but remember there's the 2 cups behind you that's going to help you to balance that emotion. You're going through a fairly big shift. But the crystal lotus that's sitting at the top of your crown, my crown's now burning as usual when this happens. So Knight of Cups. So you may find that you get a message, a message that helps you emotionally, and you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's what's going on. So it's yeah, this one wants to come up here. I'll just grab him. Strength. You're gonna actually feel this new strength coming through you, and that's what I saw. So it's like we have to go into that void to release and then bring it back through. It's almost like so the cross to me denotes the goddess, the god, the goddess, the divine, feminine, masculine, bringing it into balance. You're creating something. So you're going to actually feel a lot stronger, especially around your solar plexus. So you're going to probably have more self-esteem. You're probably going to find that love within yourself, and you're going into more crystalline body. So don't be surprised if you get a few little light body symptoms. Run some white light on yourself, clear your energy field. And don't be surprised if you get maybe a bit of a tender top of your head or some heat up there. My head's burning now. Thank you very much. So Christina, that's what I'm getting. So I don't know how you've been feeling, but yeah, you're definitely going through something that's really beautiful. Upgrade, remembering, whatever. Nick, did you get anything from that?
Well, look what's behind me. It's the flower. Yes. It's the lotus flower. And there's a reason I'm wearing this pink colour today and my clear quartz crystal, and it will tie into that because I had a dream that reflects a little bit, and it was the lotus as well that was happening. So I always feel that whenever I have a dream, my dreams are reflective of what's happening out there in the collective. Yeah. You know, and I know I have dreamed, like I was talking earlier before I got slowed down, the dreams that Marie was talking about where you're bringing up old relationships or whatever. I had a similar one. I know that's a very personal dream for me. But this one that ties in with Lady Hawk there, I mean, I think I'll just save it until I have the dream, but I can completely understand what's going on for you.
Yeah, you know, you mean Christina, who I just did the reading for.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Christina, sorry, yeah. It's beautiful.
Which is great. So I'll just throw a few of the comments up and then I'd love to hear about that and we'll tie it all in actually. So do you want to read Marie's?
Yeah, it's been odd. A couple of nights I kept being shown lots of old incidents in childhood that would have bothered me, but noticed not now at all.
Yeah, and that's what I think I've said this one. That's right. So but I'm the same. But some of them, it was still triggering me, Marie. So I knew, I've got to do some work with that. But I've actually just had some insight when I had a session with someone else for me about what it was, and it made sense. I went, okay, that's what was going on. That's why that stayed with me all this time from when I was like 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever. So that's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. So, and Christine's working on clearing them. So Marie has, because it's Mother's Day, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Now, before we do that, I just noticed Layla has just made a comment, and because she can't stay on, she's got some interesting news that we can go back to Marie's dream soon or comment. Hi, Marie. Can't stay, working my last 2 shifts. Quit my job after 40 years and moving to Sweden to old. Can't wait to just do my own thing. Well done.
Lola, that's amazing. And I think you've been looking at that, making that decision whether to or not, not to for a while from memory. So, that is so beautiful. And what a freedom, what an absolute freedom for you. Yeah, and they say Sweden is like a beautiful place to live. So, and I'm just going to pull some cards for you, Layla. So if you'd like, so with your shift, let's have a little look. Beautiful. The Queen of Swords. This is someone speaking their truth, very directly, knowing what they want. Yeah, so you are feeling really good about this decision, actually. This is what she's saying to me. King of Wands, someone taking action who's master. So this is you taking the right action. So this is just confirming for you that this decision is perfect for you. And look at this, the Three of Wands, looking forward to the future and letting the past behind. So you're actually able to contemplate now what you truly want to do and what, to take, what actions to take with that. So how beautiful. Wow. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with us. So you might have a little bit of inner reflection time with this, of course, because that Hermit card's come up, which is not surprising, but it's all perfect. So yeah, enjoy 2 more shifts. You'll just be floating. So you go and enjoy them. That's beautiful. So thanks, Layla, for sharing.
Brilliant. And don't even doubt any of those changes, because it's exactly where you're meant to be. It's not surprising people are leaving their old jobs that don't serve them anymore, because there's something new coming. We've got to be ready for it.
And it might be completely different to anything we've ever experienced before. So that can feel a bit scary because we lose our identity. So this is when we need to come into that heart. I think that's why the Hermit card came up. Just drop into your heart and just sit with, your divine presence and just chat. I find that's really reassuring sometimes when going through big changes. So, but and we'll just quickly look at, where are we? Christina. Thanks, Layla. That's awesome. Yay.
Yeah, Christina, thank you, Marie. Yes, I have been feeling a lot of internal shift. I can feel lots of different symptoms from it too, starting to feel lighter within my body. Nick, one of my favourite colours. Oh, yeah.
The pink. Yeah.
Fast becoming one of mine too.
Exactly. So, okay, so where are we? Oh, so Layla's just popped something up as well.
It was a scary decision, but I am relieved. Thank you for the read. Love you both. Love you too, Layla. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Lots of love to you. It's awesome. Girl power.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to all the comments. So keep them coming up, guys. We'll get to them. But do you want to talk about your dream first that you had with your, what you were talking about before we started the show?
Yeah, and this was after last week's show the next morning, and I woke up, and it began with me looking at a black stage, and then from the left-hand side of that stage, as I was looking at it, the right-hand side of that stage coming in was a ballerina, and she sort of did a semi-turn and then faced towards me, and she put her arms in the air, like one up, one slightly down, and she just paused and stayed there much longer than you would normally. And I thought, wow, she's really holding that for a very long time. I'm still in the audience. I don't even know if there was anyone else with me. And I'm watching this. And then I saw this incredibly strong light just kept getting brighter and brighter, start overwhelming the bottom of her body from the tutu. And then I realized she was becoming a lotus flower. And the flower was just getting brighter and bright, like to the point where I couldn't even see it. And then the petals were unfolding, and then it became into this light, this shaft that just kept, and it was so bright, and I was just in awe of it. And then the next minute it engulfed me. I became that same light. So it started first lower down in my body, and then it just rose and rose until it just engulfed my whole being, to the point where I just wanted to stay in it. It was an incredible feeling. And I thought, what is going on here? I am light. I'm just light. I'm nothing but light. And then I said, I need more information. Give me some more information, please. Then they presented me with a set of drawers, and there were 3 drawers closed below, but the 4th drawer was open, and bright white light was streaming over into that. And it had a very soft pink colour to it. Even the original light from the ballerina had this soft, pale pink colour, like a rose quartz colour mixed in with it. And then I got the message, higher heart.
Wow.
And then I just put it all together. And then maybe it was like I was, while I was still contemplating that, I got shown another quick image of 2 mountains like this, with 2 little, they almost looked like Lego characters on top. They were construction workers, and they were just working away at the top of the mountain, on each mountain.
So so that's amazing. So I mean, what do you want to do your take on it? So just go through the symbols, quickly go through the symbols of it.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, the black stage is the unconscious, the unknown. I also look at it as the magic that can come in, what's possible. And then me being in the audience, I'm receptive, I'm ready and open to receive anything whilst I'm there. That's what you do when you sit there. You're ready for something to be presented. The ballerina is balancing and joy, very uplifting. Then the dance itself is also joyful, it's lighthearted, and it can mean different things. If you look at the Betty Bethard's book, it can mean that you're dancing around a problem or whatever. But because she wasn't really dancing, she stopped and paused. And then I saw that as the pause that is currently happening to us. We're having to just stop and take the moment of being present to allow that magic to perhaps start coming in for us and what's possible. That was why that pause took so long. I needed to get it enough, so I stopped and saw that message rather than just skip to the next bit. The music that was also playing was very soft and healing that I heard in the background. And that's also part of the creative flow. The arms are also the creative part of the body. So it's all, one was just linking to the next, to the next. And then the lotus flower that appeared, and I saw this as the sacred lotus flower, which to me has the 108 petals. That's ironic because that's the house number I live in as well. And it was, as it unfolds, we know for those that need a bit of a refresher, the lotus flower comes from underneath in the mud, and it represents the birth, the death cycle, and the rebirth cycle. It comes from the mud, and through obstacles comes this beautiful flower. That's the purity of the flower. Every night it can close up and go back underneath into the mud again to be reborn each day. And I thought, well, this is what is happening to us. We're going through this rebirth, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And so basically the light that was coming through me was, I was going through that. What I was seeing was actually happening to me, and it was going through my chakras, my heart chakra, my third eye, so that it's towards enlightenment, gaining more knowledge and understanding of where we're heading. Yeah, it was pretty. And then the mountains at the very end, I thought, well, that's what's coming. We're ready to start rebuilding. We've climbed the top of the mountain, and we get this incredible perspective about everything that what we need to know to move forward. And knowing what part we're going to play in it, it blew me away.
Amazing dream. And you could feel it. You were obviously feeling it as well. It was like
a
dream. Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And it's interesting because that's the similar message I've been getting as well. And Angel Laurie, has talked about the lotus flower as similar to the phoenix. And it's interesting because I hadn't pulled an animal magic card. So I was with my friend yesterday, and the card I pulled with her was the phoenix. And she said exactly this. It's this beautiful, huge death and rebirth, but it's like you're bringing through this light. She said the light's so powerful, and it's exactly what you were just experiencing in your dream. So I feel, guys, that this dream, the dreams that we have, they're often for all of us. It's almost like a signpost for all of us, so that it helps us to sort of go, oh, that's what's going on. So it was interesting with Christina that I saw that crystal lotus and the cross, which to me is that void, that magical place to release and to create from. So I love it. See, the synchronicity, when you understand your own symbology, you understand some of the messages we're getting, it just becomes this beautiful woven pattern, doesn't it, that we can tap into. So thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful.
Yes.
So there we go. So Christine's asked a question for you.
Do mountain peaks mean anything extra? Well, I think I was so besotted with the first message that I didn't really look into the mountain peaks. I mean, I don't know, the two of them meaning a balance, I suppose.
Yeah, and masculine, feminine, when you were talking about the high heart, then I could just see too, again, that relationship thing coming up, but within ourselves, that there was two, masculine, feminine, and the two mountain peaks, when I think it's the Lover's card, has two mountain peaks behind it from memory. So I'll have to have a look. But which is interesting because I was getting that hit from that as well. So let me just have a look up mountain, MNO. Mountain, perspective, clarity, spiritual awareness. Seeing a mountain in the distance means enlightening experiences. opportunities, new lessons await you. Climbing up, you're going in the right direction. So you're already at the top. You're able to observe from that perspective of, like you said, sitting back and watching. So that's amazing. So yeah, 2 is definitely the balance in feminine, masculine. So that's amazing. So all right, shall we pop back and just see what else is coming up? Let me just see, where are we up to? I don't want to miss anyone. Yep, done that one. So I've got Marie.
Okay, with Mum, something very noticed. I'm remembering some happy times with her. I'm one of 7, and we were, I'm sure, a major challenge. Many times she was rough, raised by her grandmother and a Marine. She handled dialysis. No, she handled us when we were in trouble. No waiting until Dad came home. So I think remembering happy times shows I've forgotten her and worked through most issues.
Yeah. So Marie, I agree with that. And it was, it's hard when you got 7 kids. Like, we had 6 in our family, and I don't know how Mum did it, but yeah, you can see there's just the strength and to hold that space for that many children, and to So that's beautiful that you've forgiven her as well, because they worked with the best that they had then. It was such a dense energy back then to be in, consciousness wise. Wow. So yeah, no. So thank you for sharing that. I know it's beautiful, isn't it, to remember mums? I think mums, there's just no one in the world like a mother, to me. That it's just someone that can't be replaced no matter what. So
it's a big job.
Yeah. Okay, so Marie's also, hang on, snacks. Where are we, Marie? I've missed. Hang on, did I just give the wrong one? No.
I think there must be 2 parts. Where is it?
So, okay, so I'm just going to pop this one up. I hope this is the start of it.
Okay, I think it's just like little fragments of dreams that she means, dream pieces.
Yeah.
5 different snakes, different types and colours. Large ones stood out, grey-brown with glowing green neon diamonds. They were just moving around. Whoa.
Wow. So what do snakes mean to you, Marie? Because I've never had a snake dream, and I love them. So I'm just wondering, is there a little bit of trepidation there with snakes for you? And and the colours. Do you want to talk about the colours there, Nick?
Yeah, well, the fact that anytime I have a dream where I see multiple colours, I feel, you break each one down, which we'll get to, but it's more that you're realising this is about bringing a little piece of everything together. It's tying something together. And I guess if you look at what my understanding of a snake could be, representative of the, so you look at and then we moved into this. One stood out, the grey and the brown. Well, the brown is very grounding. The grey is sometimes where you don't have to be in a polar opposite anymore. It's like being open to lots of ideas and understandings, which I think is certainly where everyone is moving into more of now. So perhaps that's what is happening for you. You're starting to sort of just almost become that observer and understanding that everyone has an opinion and there's no right or wrong. It's just what that person is experiencing, and that beautiful grounding. And then you go into this glowing neon diamonds. Wow. That's spectacular. And green for me represents the heart chakra as well. And yes, and I know it can also reflect nature, and that connects back to the grounding as well. But being a neon and the diamonds.
Yeah. So to me, a diamond is actually a sacred symbol, and I see it as a diamond pyramid of light. So it's actually holding everything within it. So I feel there's shift coming for you as well. But so it's interesting what Marie how she feels about snakes. So
I do not love snakes. My brother used to toss them at me or taunt me with them. Really? You had snakes tossed at you? Where do you live?
Well, where do you live, Marie? I want to know that as well. I mean, where we grew up, yes, there was lots of snakes, but they were usually deadly, so we didn't usually do that to each other. We'd sort of grab. I remember grabbing my sister literally by the belt and pulling her away because there was a snake in front of her on the path. But boys, brothers, goodness me. So yeah, let us know where were you when that was going on. That's crazy. It's crazy. So no wonder you're having dreams of them. So obviously there could be a fear that's coming up as well. That's that's going to be released or relieved for you. So okay, so let's just have a look and see if there's anything else I've missed. I think that's fine. We're up to here. Okay, this is cool. So we're up to Lady Hawk with her random question.
Okay, random question to change consciousness. Is it the higher self moving knowledge into the mind, or the mind finding knowledge and the energies from that raising the frequency of conscious, or both? What did you immediately think after you wrote that, Lady Hawk?
Yes, good question, Nick. Absolutely, yeah. So Lady Hawk, for you to even be asking this question, it's almost like you've contemplated it. So somewhere within you, there is some wisdom around this. So throw it out for us, okay? I'm not going to answer.
No, and I'm sure everyone's got an opinion on this. There's got to be. Everyone should have some sort of an idea of what their gut is telling them, what their instincts tell them about this.
Pop it on, everyone. Pop it in the comments. I love this question, Lady Hawk. Thank you. It makes us stop. It makes us contemplate. It makes us question. And when we question, what happens? You get answers, or you get a remembering of wisdom, or whatever it is. Pop it in the comments. I love this. So and while everyone's sort of looking at that and feeling through that, so I'll pop up what Marie has said.
3 older brothers, snakes, both venomous and not. They did it with non-venomous, grew up in New Jersey. I didn't realise you had that many snakes there.
No, it's amazing. Wow. Oh, 3. I had 4 brothers, but luckily only 2 of them were older. So the other 2 I got to boss around a bit more. But yeah, that's definitely a brother thing. But goodness me. They didn't do it with venomous. That's good. So at least they were behaving themselves in that regard. So
Marie, did you say what you thought snakes represented to you?
Yeah, let us know, Marie. So I mean, I know there was obviously that little bit of fear if your brothers are tormenting you with it, but in general, it'd be good to know, Marie, what you actually felt with that as well. So Lady Hawk, thank you, Lady Hawk. You're very good to put this in there. So do you want to read this one? This is from the question.
So after asking you what was the first thing that came into yourself, it was a flow of both, the mind from this 3D realm versus soul memory, higher self, inner knowing. I think you're on track there.
Absolutely, and it's funny because when we say the mind now, I don't think of my mind being here. I actually I feel my mind being here. So it's in between my heart and my brain, my 3D brain, and it's almost like this knowing. So it's a combination of contemplation through the brain, but done with the heart. And so there's this space, and it's probably about that far out from my heart, like in like a triangle there. So that's how I see my mind now. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
yeah. Where does everyone else sort of see their mind? You can say brain, you can say network, our physical brain, but our actual mind, when we're thinking about what it means for us, that'd be great. So Christine's popped something in as well.
To me, it is the knowing, being guided by intuition and know my vibrations high with huge love emanating from my heart. Yeah.
So that word knowing, it's true. And to me, it's almost a remembering, because we know everything. It's just, what are we tapping into? And what I've noticed for me is that my perspective has changed. So before, I used to say, oh, wish I'd known that, hindsight, 2020 vision and all of that. Hindsight's great. Now I'm going, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm seeing this situation from such a different perspective that it'll come to a point where I can go, hindsight, I actually saw it from the beginning. So it's almost, this is what I'm feeling, is that our perspective has this inner knowing, this remembering. So we can see things from such different angles now. We don't have to wait to go through an experience to get another way of looking at it. It's like our wisdom just drops in. So I love that as well. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really picking up a massive shift in the past week for people, and there's no doubt we're very aware of what's been going on, and the more light that streams down, the more we have to start looking at how it's affecting everything. You know, how we feel, how we think, and we're just putting so much more trust into our knowingness, you know, rather than going outside for it. It's been a huge shift here, definitely.
Oh, I agree with you, and it takes a lot of faith in a way as well, because we're trusting ourselves and that inner divine guidance, and that's faith at the end of the day. So, but just remember how powerful we are. So I loved as well, Nick, I meant to say when you were talking about knowing you were light, it's like when I was telling that story about that that little floater I got in my eye, and I went to send light to it, and I got told no, tell it is light, and then it went. So our light is so powerful. So remember that. All of us need to remember how powerful we are. Don't just think that, oh yeah, I'll send love and light to someone. Don't think it's going to be like and fluffy. It'll be beautiful and big and huge. So yeah. Oh, so this is Marie's going back to her snakes.
Just doing the snake. Yes, I used to scream, and one time I had a panic attack, but a teacher worked me past it, and now not the same fear. Mostly just neutral on snakes, no special meaning now. Well, they have certainly been sent to you for a reason. So, yes, I would sit with that over the space of the week and just see what else comes up with it, even if it doesn't make sense to you. It's working, it's weaving its way through your body, doing what it's meant to be doing.
And what I was just getting there for you, Marie, as well, is actually sit down and just imagine there's the snakes in front of you and talking to you, and just see what wisdom it brings to you or what message it brings to you. I think that'll be a really interesting little exercise for you. So yeah, I'm just going to pull a couple of cards. I'm just going to split these ones for you. Yeah, you're being offered something. That Six of Pentacles has come up. So this is an offering, but it's maintaining a balance while you're being offered this aspect. Yeah, snake's a transition, honey. That's a death card. That's a transition card. I was going to say it. To me, a snake is transition. They shed their skin. It's a whole rebirth again. This is the whole rebirth thing going on that we've been talking about. The moon. Don't be surprised if something pops up in your life that you need to like work through, or you might get a little bit triggered by it, but this is perfect. This is part of that transition card. So it's actually fine. It's okay. Just know. And don't get too upset about it. Five of Cups has come up. Know that it's happened, but then the Sun card immediately afterwards. So I feel this is actually going to release a little bit more of an inner child for you, that playfulness, that remembering how to play. So I feel like something's going to really be lifted off your shoulders, but it might be a little bit uncomfortable getting there. So that snakes are a powerful one then when they come through.
Like I said, they're working their way through you, and they're doing a wonderful job. So just
when a lot of
embrace it.
Colors, yeah, rainbow chakras. You are everyone. I feel we're all going through it, and we're all being shown it in a different way. Yeah. So we're going to all have our own new way of actually doing it. So, yeah.
Oh, we'll try working on it. Yes, thank you so much.
Well done. That's great. And we'd love to hear back next week to see how it went, or if you got anything. If you didn't, that's fine. It's still weaving its magic. And one of my favourite sayings is, we always end up in the right place despite ourselves.
It's so true. We do get in our way a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, Lady Hawk's responding to Christine. I want to see what Christine's message was so that we can have a look at that. I think this is okay. Lady Hawk,
I'd like to know how you can tell when the cycle is broken. Oh, is that ancestral trauma? Yes.
Yeah, so we're talking about so this again, this is lineage. This is we're here. We are doing these things, clearing it all up. So, and then Lady Hawk popped in down here, which I thought was really cool. Okay.
Christine Hill, I see my daughter's responses to things, the way they react and deal with people. They are empowered and don't have trauma responses like I had to work through. They are empaths. That's brilliant. I'd like to know how old they are.
Yeah. So,
Lady
Hawk, how old are they? If you can share that, that'd be beautiful. But I think it's just so wonderful to have someone, Lady Hawk, that's so aware and that is so conscious of your actions and how it's impacting and how you can change it. I think when you have your kids, their souls obviously wanted to be with someone like you know, so that they would be the recipients of this amazing mum that did this this clearing and understood, you know, lineage and how to work through patterns. I think it's beautiful that you've given that for your children. Really beautiful. So and when I think of my mum, I mean, she was amazing what she went through and what she worked through. And, you know, she was a teacher full-time, had 6 children, plus she set up things in our country town like children of adult alcoholics, you know, support groups. She did after hours teaching for children that had dyslexia and things that they didn't even know about back in those days. Just amazing, you know, and her own inner work and her own knowing about her patterning. I mean, I was blessed. I think I had a mum like that as well that helped me then to be available energetically to do that. So, yeah, I think we're really blessed when we have mums like that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lady Hawk. Here we go.
21 and 34, even my grandson's 16, yeah.
Wow, goodness, yeah. So perfect. And then, so, you know, then the grandchildren coming through, they're coming through with such different energetic templates and you can really see it in them. It's like they don't get attached to stuff like we did. They don't, you know, they're not, I feel that they're a little bit more outside the matrix than we were. Like for me, I felt we were brought up and you knew there was something wrong and you knew it didn't feel right. But it's almost like they go, who cares? I'll just do what I need to do. You know, it's like they don't apologize for being here. So I love that. I love that. So,
and to speak on what I was saying about, like, how do you know you've broken the cycles of all those things? And I said it's a very personal journey for every one of us. You don't know until the next thing comes up. You know, like these bodies have been holding a lot for such a long time. So I guess you just have to be open to the fact that there's still work to be done. But I don't think, I do feel that we're also, don't forget, we're also picking up on other people's work that they're doing.
True.
So, you know, it's a difficult one to say, is this really mine or is this something that because I think everybody here can say something that happened to them or an experience they've had which is being cleared, some shadow. Many other people would have had the same experience in a slightly different way because it's affected them. It's like now we all get affected by the general day-to-day life out there. And that affects us in the same, not necessarily the same way, but it's still, it's something that we have to maybe deal with and work through.
Yes.
So I personally would say until the outside world reflects the inner world that we're trying to create, then you can say you're good.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, I mean, I'll still feel it like when I'm out sort of doing my job and stuff with helping my friend. I'm in a shopping centre and it's a beautiful shopping centre. Like it's one of the I think it's one of the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. It's just very, very lovely. But you can still sometimes I put my golden bubble up but I can still get impacted. And even by the time I'm driving home, I have to get my dragon up because I'm starting to get reactive on the road. You know, when I'm going through my own stuff, then I feel like I'm more susceptible to global consciousness, to what's going on around me or picking up on things. So, you know, I just notice it. So, Trigal's on. Hello, gorgeous. Trigal, we've just been talking incredibly again. We've had a lot of synchronicities today around this beautiful heart opening and our light body coming through that is tangible, really, and the dreams have been reflecting that. So it's been quite amazing. Oh, and as far as the recordings go, I don't know that we talked about those. I did actually record a part of my dream when I woke up, but I was just half asleep and my words weren't even, I could hear myself. I was going, what was I saying? I know what I was saying, but it doesn't sound like it. So I feel sometimes it's more just the fact that we're still half in another realm and we're trying to use 3D words to talk.
Yeah.
So that's what it sounded like to me. It was me, but it was me just half asleep and half somewhere else.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't record it. I just spoke it while I was still in that theta state, and I got the same thing. It was just like a very monotone version of me, and I just said the word lotus flower. I thought, no, that's my voice. But
Yeah.
you know, to be honest, I thought about this, and we all resonate at our own frequency. It's very unique to us, and by me speaking that, it's just coming out of my body that I resonate at. So unless you are actually physically out of your body completely during that time, then maybe you'll get a different sounding voice. But I was still aware of being in my body. Otherwise, I wouldn't be conscious enough to record it or to speak it out loud.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah. So, you know, and I think sometimes too, if you're not used to even hearing your voice on recordings, you know, because I've done, as you have, Nick, a lot of teaching, I've recorded a lot of things, I've recorded meditations. So I actually I know my voice, and I know when I'm actually channeling, if there is a slight difference in the resonance of my voice, but it's still me as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, exactly.
It's cool. But you want to read Lady Hits?
Well, they learned one that they took me decades to understand. I won. They didn't break me. I made me from all the pieces they tried to shatter and passed it on.
Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic. That's courage. This is why I think I chose to not have children. I think it takes you got to have courage. I watched like with my big family, and I was going, "Who would do this? This is such hard work." Because I helped bring up my little ones, the little ones as well. I was going, I feel like I've already had them, so I felt quite complete in my life. But I think it's beautiful when you have got the courage to actually do that and to do it beautifully. So. Okay, so Marie's popped something up.
Odd childhood thing. I'm not sure if I understand. Children laying in bed see monsters, but myself and my sister are the only two that didn't see monsters, but alligators circling our beds.
Wow. I remember, Marie, I remember distinctly as a child, because there were bunk beds. No, I had my own bed, that's right, but I shared with my sister, but there was a cupboard, and I remember where the cupboard was, and I knew there were monsters in it. I absolutely knew. I could see them. And, you know, so Mum would come in, I'd be going crying, going, there's monsters. And I believe there was probably entities and things that were, because shadows and beings and stuff, because I knew they were there. I wasn't making stuff up. I wasn't afraid of the dark. I was afraid of the monsters. So how interesting that you saw alligators. Now, Marie, what does an alligator mean to you? I'd love to know. So we're putting it all back on you guys tonight or today. So let us know what you would see, how you would see an alligator. I'd love to know that, actually. So, because we have crocodiles here, we don't have alligators. Similar concept, obviously, but yeah, pop it in the notes if you can, Marie, in the comments. I'd love to know.
I had bunk beds, Marie, and we had a cupboard at the other side of the room, and occasionally, if that door was being left open, I'd call Mummy or Daddy to come and close it. Yeah, because I felt the same. There was just the closing would seem to work enough, because maybe it was my intention of saying, no, go away, shut it out. But I was on the top bunk, but I love that because there wasn't a risk of my foot touching the ground and anything getting me. You know, that, and look, it didn't put me into a frozen fear, but there'd be times where I'd wake up and you would, you know, as a child, you sense things. And you're not making stuff up in your head. You are sensing things. So whatever I was sensing, my intuition was telling me just to be careful and to be aware.
So true. I mean, it's interesting, the psyche of a child as well. They say, you know, even up to the age of 8 or 9, even watching a movie, it's very hard to decipher from real life to the movie. And that's why it's not a great idea to let kids watch scary movies. So, but I think you're right. As children, we're so sensitive to energy, even a slight nuance in the energy, especially when you're in the dark. It makes a huge impact on a child's psyche. So, yeah, I agree. So if anyone else has had any childhood like, yeah, experiences around that. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget where I used to lie, which cupboard it was. You're right. The door was open. It's so interesting you say that. Yeah. So, and so what I did, I remember what I did was I went around to all the cupboards and I wrote cupboard on the inside of it. So I knew the cupboard and the cupboard knew me. So I got a text on the inside of all the ones in my bedroom. My mum was so beautiful. I never even got in trouble for that. I mean, yeah, just so allowing. So here we go. So this is Marie's response.
Not a fan, but not worried now. But back then they freaked me out. I didn't get up or put feet over the side like I'm hearing that. Now from all I've learned, it may have had greys in our house.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
Like you said, Marie, shadows hanging around, just seeing what they can get into. We're such pure energy fields that they just want to take part of it.
It was part of our world. Yeah. So Marie, look, it could have, and sometimes just the energy's enough. It doesn't even have to be a being. So yeah, because to me, I could an alligator or a crocodile, they've been around. They're ancient. So these guys have been the ones that have survived. They can drop their heartbeat down to like 2 beats a minute, and just be so still you wouldn't even know they're there. But they also are an archetype, so they hold the memories, they hold the wisdom from way back. And and as we know, reptiles, so for you that could have had a little bit of it indicative about that darker aspect. But yeah, fascinating, isn't it? So what I might do is, I don't think there's any other comments that have come up, so what I might do is pull an animal magic card to finish with. Because I think they'll be quite relevant for all of us, and these are they're beautiful. They hold so much energy. So anyone watching this afterwards, you will still get that beautiful energetic hit. I'm already starting to get hot. Oh, okay. Let's see what's coming through for us all here. It's definitely over here. Let's have a look. Okay, it's that one. Beautiful. It's our horse. So a horse is around freedom and power. It's sort of making sense as to what we've been talking about, going through this death rebirth and bringing through more light and having being free. I mean, you can just imagine yourself being a horse and being able to run freely, no restrictions, having all that power. So sometimes you might ask, what do I do with it all? So that's what I'm feeling from this horse. So when you have got this, if you have got this feeling of, I'm so powerful, just sit with it and then just allow it to take you wherever it is that you're meant to be. So I've been noticing this even with how I've been with people in that shopping center. I've just noticed I just don't feel like I'm becoming disempowered sometimes. I'm just holding my power, but being so gentle with it. So yeah, but that horse is a beautiful, beautiful one to work with this week. So so the horse is out and about. So that's freedom and power. Nick, what are you getting from the card?
Well, I had a dream last night of making horses.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. No, and it was, I actually had it, I think, at the early stage of the night, and then again just prior to waking up, these horses just kept coming in, and I was actually making horses. So I guess that's what we were doing, is we were stepping into our freedom
and our power. So is it Christina's reading as well, that empowerment? I felt that all around that power center.
Yeah.
So, the light is, and keep dropping that light. What the message I got was, drop the light from our heart space down into our solar plexus area. And that then helps us to not have people popping in and grabbing energy off us, through a link, and us, being impacted. So keep that beautiful white light, not only through the heart, but through that solar plexus center. That horse card is really telling us we are empowered, we are powered, and we are free. So yeah, which is beautiful. So so any ideas for next week, Nick? Should we maybe just do a recoup on what's been happening for people and just see what's coming up in the dreams?
I think it'd probably be very timely to do it then.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put that out there for anybody that comes on next week as a little bit of homework to think about. just to change things up a little bit. One of the quick brief dreams I got, which was just a child running, it was like they were hiding. They were running away to hide, nothing too sinister. And I was doing the same. We met in the corner of her house and we said, let's give each other code names. And so she said, my code name is going to be round hole. And I laughed and I said, well, I'm going to be square peg. So homework for the week is, what does round hole and square peg mean to you?
Interesting.
And remember, there's a child involved.
Okay, so the inner child coming through. Yep. All right, so tapping into the inner child. And, yeah, okay, so round pole and square peg. And whatever, and also what other people might get for themselves as well with that too.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you get if they get their own code words and see what comes through for them. I love it. That's perfect. Play work. No, home play, not homework. Home play.
Code words, when you get them, and you get them at different times, particularly if you're sort of in a state of meditation or you're relaxed and you're just daydreaming, a word can just come in. And when those words come in, there's a trigger there for when you think of those words, they will move you into, I think, a more connected state of consciousness. Yeah. That's how I see words. So, yeah, see if you can find your own code word or decode that code word or see where, just to feel into it. And then, we'll talk about the energies next week too.
Perfect. All right, everyone, have the most beautiful week. Thank you for being here. Happy Mother's Day. And thanks, Nick. And we will see you all next week. Oh, thanks. Actually, stop. Yeah. My sister's here. I'm not going to be able to do next week. But, Nick, I might actually see if I can get you on my StreamYard if you like to actually, if you want to do the show. But we'll have to see. Actually, I'll make sure I put up a message either way through the week, guys. But still do your home play. And yeah, we'll catch up again. If we can't do it next Monday, we'll do it the Monday after, definitely. Or Sunday.
Oh well, the universe will decide.
It will. All right.
All right. Bye, everybody. Lots of love.